Hello YouTube, my name is Titanfall, and first of all I would like to get this clear. I adored the first Titanfall, and that's why I'm extra disappointed in the pre-alpha of Titanfall 2, and that's what this commentary is about. I'm going to be comparing the first Titanfall's strengths and weaknesses, the second Titanfall's strengths and weaknesses, comparing them, and see what we can learn from that, and trying to improve Titanfall 2. Now, the gameplay in the background features all three maps, all of them on the game mode Bounty Hunt, and I was trying to get my Titanfall as fast as I can, so you'll see me in my Titan as much as I possibly can, just trying to show you how little it is compared to the original Titanfall. So, Titanfall, what made it so good when it first came out is that it differentiated itself from all other shooters. The movement was fresh, innovative, new. No other first-person shooter really had that same movement, and it was revolutionary. I mean, it changed gaming afterwards. I mean, no other game like Call of Duty or Battlefield had this same 3D movement system that Titanfall had. And Titanfall really did popularize the 3D movement system that you see in games today. Really innovated the genre. And while people were getting sick of the boots on the ground, coincidentally. So, when you were in a Titan in Titanfall 1, you felt like you were a COD player on a COD map. And what I mean by that is when you were in the Titan, the maps were so huge that they had their own choke points, their own laning. It was like when you were in a Titan, it was like you were a full big COD player on a COD map. And that's what made the pilot gameplay and the Titan gameplay so fresh and, like, different from each other. You would never see this in any other game. I mean, and not even today. I mean, I guess Hawken, but, I mean, they don't even have pilot gameplay. So, and when you were a pilot on those same maps, the maps were so huge and vast, but they were still dense. There was still so much to do in each map. Like, you can go peck at a Titan, you could go, like, kill AI, you can go find other pilots, you can go hack terminals, hack the sentry guns. It was all, you could do a lot as a pilot on the ground, and there's so much to do in each match that, for a while it made some unique experiences. And all that together made Titanfall awesome. It made it fresh, new, innovative. It changed things. From your other classic first-person shooters. I mean, no other games like that really had a crazy 3D movement system like that. No other game made you feel immersed as if this was a giant war. And it offered an experience that no other first-person shooter had really done before. Now, there were two main things that held this game back from being as good as it could have been. And the first one on my mind is the lack of customization. There was 10 primary weapons, which could be customized with a mod or attachment. For example, the car SMG that was in that game, right? It could have one sight, which was its attachment, and its mods were extended mag. You could choose counterweight, which made the car's hipfire extremely good, and you could put on a suppressor. And that was it for the majority of the primary weapons as a pilot in that game. There were 3 sidearms that are not customizable, 6 Titan weapons that could change, 6 Titan weapons that had some mods that you can change it drastically, or just improve the basic guns experience. Like, there's a mod where you can have a fully automatic quad rocket, or if you just like that burst fire quad rocket, you can just have extended mags for it, right? So, I mean, it was different attachments, but not a lot was there. And on top of that, you had some perks and slightly different Titans with some different abilities, and, the basics like grenades and all of that. And the bigger problem was the lack of replay value between each match. And I think we can all agree that the core gameplay mechanics of Titanfall were excellent, but because the movement was so crazy insane, that it was impossible for the developers, Respawn Entertainment, to create choke points within each map. And the result of that made every match feel extremely similar. So when all your maps feel the same, it is extremely hard to make each match feel different. It just didn't offer enough replay value between each game mode and map because they all blurred together. And that is truly why Titanfall, the original Titanfall, failed. However, now people who played Titanfall recognized this and were optimistic for Titanfall 2 because they thought they were just going to put Titanfall 1 on steroids and fix all the problems. You know, all they really wanted with the sequel was to have more weapons, customization, replay value. Those are the three core things that they wanted with Titanfall 2. Now, I can confidently say that all three of those things have been fixed, but they got rid of a lot of the things that made Titanfall special. But, okay, now I'm getting ahead of myself. First of all, what Titanfall 2 gets right. It's game mode variety. Each game mode feels distinctly different. I have different experiences with each game mode. It is very nice, and there's a lot of variety within each game mode. Now, each individual game mode, I'm not, the biggest fan, not like no attrition, at least in the pre-alpha. But I can admit that there is more variation from something like attrition to normal hardpoint, which what we had in the original Titanfall. There is plenty of weapons and customization. I mean, there's a ton of different ways to play this game with the weapons. It's very nice. And they got rid of burn cards, which, in my book, is a win. They added new game mechanics in Titanfall 2, such as the grappling hook. That's an option that you can choose over stim or cloak. And the grappling hook is good for advanced players that can get good at it to gain momentum. And they added sliding, which I really do enjoy, which you see me taking advantage of in the gameplay. But that's really it. That is really it of the pros of Titanfall 2, which is all the negatives of Titanfall 1 you will notice. But the problem is they did cut out a lot of stuff that made Titanfall 1 extremely fun and interesting. Titan fights are a lot less frequent in this game than in the previous title, which is kind of ironic because the game is called Titanfall. I mean, they did update it. They did make it faster after the update in the pre-alpha, and it is a lot more prominent, and you get them a little bit faster. They added the charge back, so, if you just go AFK, you'll have, 25% of your charge done after the end of the match, but it's not as insane as the original Titanfall. And, on a side note, the Titan, when they just fall in, I guess this is a personal preference, but when they do fall in, it does feel a little less epic, in a sense. So, when they're falling down, it's not as flippin' epic and, magical. And then they even have a perk where it just, warps into battle, which doesn't look as cool, but, I guess you get it a little bit faster. The lack of verticality between each map, as well, is really bad in this game. Everything is so flat, and that map, I forget what it's called, but, the map, it's so open. It's green, it looks pretty. They have one little section of the map that's vertical. That's it. That's the entire map. There's just one little vertical spot, and then the rest is just open plains for flipping snipers to peck at you across the map, and it's really annoying, and I hate that map. But a lot of the maps are not very vertical, and you're really looking at this gameplay, and you're like, well, that looks pretty vertical to me, but it's just not as vertical as the original Titanfall. And that's what I really liked about that game's map design. And also the stupid map borders that drive me nuts. I don't really like the map borders very much. And it's hard to traverse these maps as a Titan. There's a whole section of the map that is not available to Titans, which they had that in Titanfall 1, but there's still plenty of other areas to get to, right? So it felt very smooth and natural. And, it doesn't have that same COD feeling when you're as a Titan. It just feels like, these maps were designed for pilots, but the entries are big enough for Titans to walk through. And rarely even, there's a lot of areas that Titans cannot get to in this game, and it just feels kind of awkward. So I'm not a big fan of that, and that's what I loved about the original Titanfall. And when you're playing these matches, and I'm playing the most action-packed game mode in this gameplay, and it's not as insanely action-packed as the first game. Like, there's not, like, AI falling from the sky as you're flipping wall running off and throwing grenades and spamming everything and then calling in your Titan and landing on a pilot. That's just not in this game. And it's a shame. It really, the denseness is very lacking in this game. There's not a lot of density between each match with all the explosions and stuff. Everything feels kind of empty. And when you get into a Titan, you feel a lot less powerful than in the original Titanfall. And I think it's because the anti-Titan weapons are extremely powerful in this game. But, and then along with the absurd time to kill. It is way too fast. Respawn, please, like, increase that time to kill. I mean, it is insane. I mean, I have, like, no time to react when I die in, like, 2 bullets by flipping amped carbine. And please nerf the carbine as well. That's on a different topic. And the list goes on. There's just a lot of things in this game that I just do not like as much as the original Titanfall. And it's a shame because they did this all so well in the original, you know. But if there is a ray of light, a silver lining to this, Respawn is listening to our complaints with the game. If you do not like what they are doing, let them know. We need the mindset to make Titanfall 2 the best sequel the franchise deserves. And I would like to thank you all for watching through this entire video. Like the video if you support the idea of Titanfall 2, or like the video if you support the idea of making Titanfall 2 as good as we can. And I'd like to thank you all for watching, and have a blessed day. See you guys. Bye.
Warning, there is a hostile pilot on the hull. Engaging Titan. Powering warning, hostile pilot attached to hull. Hostile pilot KIA.
Bloody well destroying them. Keep it up, 6-4.
Critical damage. Advise board.